What's up guys, my name is Ace and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats as well as some excellent attachment combinations for every gun in Call of Duty Vanguard. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering the brand new assault rifle. This is the KG M40. And starting it off, as always, let's have a look at our damage profile. And it turns out with this damage profile, it's going to be a 4 to 5 shot kill, whether you're shooting them in the limbs or the torso, doesn't matter. It's a 4 to 5 shot kill. However, if we land just one headshot at any range mixed in with torso shots, we will be reducing the number of shots to kill by 1. So therefore, we can get a 3-shot kill up close, for instance, with just one headshot mixed in. As for our rate of fire, this is 645 rounds per minute, meaning our time to kill potential kinda sucks with this gun. In the 4-shot kill range, it'll take you 279 milliseconds to kill, and this isn't a very competitive time to kill when compared to all of the other guns out there, especially with their attachment combinations. And then at a distance, in our 5-shot kill range, it's going to be 372 milliseconds to kill, which again is pretty slow. Now, the one saving grace with this gun is the fact that headshots are really powerful. Like I said, you just need that one single headshot mixed in, and if you do this, it will cut our time to kill potential down to 186 milliseconds within that 4-shot kill range where we get a 3-shot kill in this case. That right there is a very competitive time to kill, and until you start unlocking the better attachments that significantly improve our time to kill, you kind of have to rely on those headshots. As for our bullet velocity, this is standard for assault rifles at 885 meters per second, and now let's get into our range, which, as you can see there, our 4-shot kill range extends out to just over 50 meters, which is great. That's a solid range. The vast majority of practical lines of sight in this game will fall well within 50 meters. And then let's have a look at hardcore, and in hardcore game modes, from 0 to 50 meters, it's a 1-shot kill anywhere in the body, but there's a pretty steep penalty after that. Anything after 50 meters, you have to hit a head or a neck shot if you want a 1-shot kill with this gun. But then let's get into our hipfire, and the KG M40 added a whole new category of hipfire here for assault rifles. It has by far the worst hipfire spread in the assault rifle category. This is much more along the lines of an LMG. As for idle sway though, there's very little idle sway with this gun. It barely moves while aiming down sight, so that's a big positive to using this gun. And then let's get into our recoil, which is honestly pretty good. I would say this is very little recoil. It kicks upward and to the right. It's a nice linear pattern as well. There's not a whole lot of deviation off of that, and therefore this is actually very accurate and easy to control. And with that, this is where I want to get into the handling, which isn't great for this gun either. Our aim down sight time is 330 milliseconds, which is the slowest in the assault rifle category, so that's unfortunate. However, our sprint out time is actually quite fast for an assault rifle at 225 milliseconds, so kind of strange how those are sort of polar opposites here. But then let's get into our reload add time, which is also the slowest in the assault rifle category at 2.05 seconds. So in many ways, it's starting to look like the KG M40 is designed to be an assault rifle LMG hybrid sort of a gun, at least based on the stats, and its mobility is no exception. Our base movement speed is tied for being the slowest in the assault rifle category at 10.4 miles per hour. Our aim walking movement speed is the slowest in the assault rifle category, and then our sprint movement speed is also tied for being the slowest. So there we go, those are the base stats of this gun, and just looking at those without attachments, this gun is actually pretty terrible. I was surprised to see that. Usually they bring new guns in and have them be a little bit more powerful than many of the other guns, but that's just not the case with this one. However, attachments do make a big difference, so let's start it off with the barrel attachments, and the first thing we'll look at is the recoil. Which, as you can see here, the first barrel definitely increases the recoil, especially after that first shot fired, which is very interesting. The second barrel doesn't seem to have a significant impact on our recoil. The third barrel really nicely tightens up the recoil. The fourth barrel definitely adds a noticeable amount. This gives us the worst possible recoil pattern, but that's still a controllable recoil pattern. That's something you could still use out to mid-range with no problem whatsoever. And then finally, with the burst barrel, this one practically eliminates recoil on this gun. Next up for the barrels, let's have a look at our ranges, and it turns out none of the barrels on this gun affect our range value at all, or the number of shots to kill, so that's very interesting. There's not a whole lot going on barrel-wise. However, you will see the last 2 barrels we unlock will have an impact on our time to kill, so let's take a deeper look at them. And we're going to start it off with the rapid barrel. With this one, we actually get a massive increase to our rate of fire all the way up to 821 rounds per minute. And this has no impact on our damage, so what this means for our time to kill potential is with a 4-shot kill, it'll be 219 milliseconds, which is much more competitive than the base time to kill of this gun. And then at range, it's 292 milliseconds, which is a very solid time to kill for longer range engagements. The only real noticeable downside to this is the fact that we do get more recoil, but like I said, this is still a controllable recoil pattern, and therefore for more aggressive setups at least, where you're not trying to stretch out the range and pick people off at extremely long ranges, this is a solid choice to use on this gun. Now, as for that final barrel that we unlock, this is the burst barrel. This one turns the gun into a 3-round burst. And with this, the rate of fire within the burst is the same as our base rate of fire, but we now have a roughly 290 millisecond burst delay, which is an extremely slow and unforgiving burst delay. And the biggest problem with this is, without combining this with any other attachments, it's still a 4-shot kill. And as a result, you can't get a 1-burst kill with this. And our time to kill potentials are absolutely terrible with this particular barrel. So on its own, I would never even consider using this barrel. However, with the right attachment combination, you can make this work, and I will be sharing an example class setup later in the video. But with that, that's going to wrap it up for the barrels. Now let's move on to magazines, and once again, we'll kick this off with recoil, which, as you can see here, with the 6.5 Sakura, this one has essentially a negligible impact on our recoil, which was a bit surprising. I thought it would reduce our recoil by a more noticeable amount here. And then with 30-06, this will definitely increase the total magnitude of recoil, but not to a degree where I would call this uncontrollable. You just experience more recoil than the base gun. As for our ranges, the 6.5 Sakura will be reducing our range by 20%, whereas the 30-06 will increase our range by 20%. So that's nice to know, and let's dive a little bit deeper into each of these. With the 6.5 Sakura, I was very surprised to see that this is still a 4 to 5 shot kill as long as you're hitting the torso, which is out of the ordinary for a lower caliber to not change the number of shots to kill. And this also comes with an improvement to our rate of fire up to 697 rounds per minute. And this means our time to kill potential is 258 milliseconds in our 4-shot kill range, which is still not amazing by any means, but it's better than the base time to kill of this gun. So this is one of those rare instances where it's actually kind of beneficial to use a lower caliber ammo. However, it is important to point out here that this is not forgiving at all if you hit limb shots. You have to hit every single shot to the torso in order to match the same number of shots to kill as the base ammo in this. And as a result, if you decide to use 6.5 Sakura on this, make sure you're combining it with hollow point, because then you can shoot them anywhere in the body and still get the same number of shots to kill. Now, as for 30-06, this one will now turn the gun into a 3 to 4 shot kill anywhere in the body, so no hollow point required here. However, this does come at the cost of our rate of fire. It cuts it down to 588 rounds per minute. But our time to kill potential is still significantly better than the base gun at 204 milliseconds for our 3-shot kill. This is a much more competitive time to kill, and it actually turns this gun into quite a solid choice to be using. And therefore, I highly recommend this, but just keep in mind, combining this with Vital is completely pointless. And this is where I just want to briefly talk about Vital as well. Vital on its own with the base ammo is an amazing choice as well. If you don't want to go 30-06, you want to use that standard 8mm Clouser, then I definitely recommend Vital, because you will now be dealing headshot damage to the upper torso, meaning just one bullet needs to hit the upper torso and the rest can hit anywhere else in the body, and you get a solid 3-shot kill potential, which is really easy to do. So yeah, Vital is an excellent choice as long as you're not combining it with 30-06. And with that, we can finally move into some excellent attachment combinations with this gun. And the first one I wanted to share for you guys is my versatile build. And with this, the entire goal behind this was to try and get a really good handling and mobility stat. We're trying to make up for the stats that are lacking with the base version of this gun. So we actually ended up with great handling on this, largely due to the barrel that we're using, combined with several of the other miscellaneous attachments. It's also worth noting we are using Vital on this, so like I just said, if you land just one bullet to the upper torso and the rest can hit anywhere, you are going to be getting a 3-shot kill in your maximum damage range, which is excellent. And then finally, this is quite accurate. If you look at the recoil pattern right here, this is a very controllable recoil pattern. You should have no problem picking people off, even at longer ranges with this. And that's why I just consider this build to be so versatile. You can use it fairly aggressively, or you can use it to pick people off at long ranges. As for the second build I've got for you guys, this is my LMG build. So with this, I didn't care about our handling as much. Our aim down sight time is actually quite slow, same with our mobility, but we're using 30-06 with this, so we've got a 3 to 4 shot kill anywhere in the body. Our time to kill potential is just over 200 milliseconds in the 3-shot kill, which is excellent. We've got a really good range profile at 56 meters, and this is very accurate. It's even more accurate than the previous build that I just shared for you guys. So this one is designed a bit more for hanging back a bit and picking people off and locking down lanes, just like you'd expect out of an LMG. But finally, I've got a bonus build for you guys in today's video, and this is the burst build. I just wanted to show that you can make the burst barrel work with this gun. So we are using that burst barrel combined with 30-06, which is very, very important to be combining it with that. So this means we do have a 1 burst kill potential all the way out to 56 meters, and our time to kill with that is 186 milliseconds, which is very fast. This also has reasonable handling. I wouldn't say it's amazing handling, but it's not bad handling by any means. And the best part about this is there's essentially 0 recoil with this gun, as you can see there. Now that might look great, but just keep in mind this is still going to be an extremely unforgiving burst gun. If you manage to get a 1 burst kill, that's amazing, that's great, you're gonna love it. But the moment you need that second burst, your time to kill isn't really going to be competing with anything in the game. So it's more of a high risk, high reward sort of a setup. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's gun guide on the brand new KG M40. As for my thoughts on this gun, I was actually quite surprised to see just how bad the base version of this gun is. Like I said at the beginning, normally they like to add new guns and make them quite powerful. They like to make them stand out, presumably to encourage more sales in the store. But with this one, that's just not the case. It's not a very good gun right out of the box. Once you get some attachments like 30-06 or Vital, you can really make it work, and it now becomes a very effective gun to use. But even then, I wouldn't call it like a top tier gun. It's just a lot more usable with those attachments. Now, of course, that is just my opinion based on fairly limited gameplay experience. Keep in mind, I'm trying to get this episode out as fast as possible. I'd like to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What do you think about the KG M40 so far in Call of Duty Vanguard? Also, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes, I will leave a link to the playlist down below. And of course, the gun guide on the new Whitley, that should be coming within the next, I want to say, 2 to 3 days. So hopefully you have some patience with that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, a like rating is always appreciated, and I'll talk to you guys next time.